Welcome back to another episode of the Unknown Sports Podcast. My name is AJ Musser. Joined with me, as usual, is Hunter, Harris, and Austin Fyffe. Guys, we're going into Week 10. Hunter, you slept on my couch all day Sunday watching football with us, eating all my freaking pizza, New York style. And to go along with this New York style pizza we had, let's talk about a little Brooklyn lager.
I did pass out on your couch, and when you say I ate all your pizza, I ate all your pizza, like all.
He
of
did.
it.
He after Carly put it away, he went back and had 2 more slices. Andy had the leftover tortellini that was in there. I think he had some of Pearl's dog food. I don't remember what else you had.
4 cookies, as well.
4 cookies,
And not like cookies. We're talking like cookies. You know what I'm saying?
Carly cookies
Carly
for
cookies.
anyone. Has had those, and lots of people have had those.
Yes.
Hunter, are you pouring your beer?
Mm-hmm.
Austin, do you have any news about a certain franchise in the Indiana area that you want to discuss real quickly?
I can't think of anything.
Hunter, do you know of any news?
Any news at all?
Yeah.
I voted for
Nothing.
president today, guys.
Nice, dude. Congrats.
I hope Kanye wins this year. 2 weeks in a row he's making an appearance on the show.
Could it be there should have been news about 4 to 6 weeks ago? Is that the news you're particularly talking about, or
Yeah, I think we can stop with the subtleties. I think you wanted this move at the end of last season or during last season.
Yep.
Frank Wright out as coach of the Indianapolis Colts, and Hunter, the beer is out of the can. How's it taste, dude? But I was wondering, it's an amber lager.
It's pretty good, dude. I'm a big lager guy, as I say every time we have a lager. So I am going to enjoy this tonight.
And you had a beer last night after work, so maybe he'll drink this one. That's 3 sips you've already taken. I'm counting.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway,
I gotta
Frank
start
Reich
drinking now. My
fired.
Packers aren't good.
Yeah. Frank Reich fired in Indianapolis. Jeff Saturday hired as head coach. Hunter, what are your thoughts on this?
Did you hear what his high school record was? His last high school record when he last coached is 3-7.
Yeah. 20 and 16 overall, over a 3-year period. If you can't win 60% of your games in high school, I don't know how the whole NFL thing is going to work out.
AJ, you're on mute.
Kingsbury couldn't win half of his games at Texas Tech, and he's coaching in the NFL.
He's next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As much as I like, I know, but as much as I like Jeff Saturday, and I'm just saying this for all Colts fans, it's temporary. Just write it out. Like, he's not the head coach going forward. He's just going to finish the season. It seems like it's really just Jim Irsay doing a guy a favor when really he could have given a lot of other people favors who have put in the time in the NFL coaching. But instead, he's just like, I like Jeff Saturday. Let's just let him do it. He'll figure it out. He knows how a locker room works.
If anybody or if anything in the world could show you the level of confidence that Jim Irsay has in this hire, he held the press conference during Monday Night Football.
Yeah, he said it in the conference. He's like, we're lucky he was available.
Yeah. I'm like, what? You're hiding him. Why are you trying to pretend this? Oh, and by the way, we're going to have a brand new play caller because nobody on the Colts staff outside of Frank Reich has ever called plays before, which is probably why Reich wouldn't give up the play calling duties.
And also because the offensive coordinator was fired the week before.
Correct.
So they lose their offensive coordinator. They lose the head coach who was already calling the plays. Does the quarterback coach start calling the plays, or some passing game coordinator that teams somehow have, or whatever?
Genuine question here, because I know what the answer should be.
Mm-hmm.
Is Jim Irsay actually insane, or why is Chris Ballard still employed?
Yeah, I don't know, dude. That's
because if he
that's a
didn't let
mystery.
Ballard even hire the interim coach,
Yeah, good call.
there is no way that Ballard has any authority over anything.
They asked that question
Yep.
in his press conference that he did, and his answer was, "He's a winner."
Huh?
He is a winner.
Chris Ballard.
Weird.
No, Jeff Saturday. He's a winner.
Oh no, I was talking about Chris Ballard there. That he's a winner.
Oh,
That's what
no.
he said.
That's an interesting word to use.
I'm not surprised they haven't hired Dallas Clark to call plays already. You know.
Do you
Who
think
else is
how
available?
many times?
Reggie Wayne's the receivers coach, so I'm surprised he didn't just get
Let's
it.
just bring them all back.
How many times did Peyton decline the call before he just moved on to Jeff Saturday?
You know, Austin, that was my initial thought too, was if Jeff Saturday got the call, I guarantee he gave Peyton a call first, and Peyton was like, yeah, no, I'm good. Like, are you serious? He's probably like, thanks, Jim. I really appreciate the offer, but I'm going to have to pass. And then, like, hung up the phone and probably looked at his wife of like, you're not going to believe the stupid call I just got.
I get how many $1 million to work at ESPN from my house?
Yeah. You want me to come back to Indianapolis and take over head coaching duties
And
with a
coach
team?
Sam Ellinger?
Yeah, and just like it's a no-win situation. Like, yeah, no, I'm good. I'll pass.
They should bring in.
He doesn't
Marvin
even want to
Harrison
coach in
next
general.
week to be team therapist. Multiple time murderer Marvin Harrison. While we're on it. Allegedly.
While we're talking about murders, let's talk about some games. Oh, I guess we're not recapping the Detroit Green Bay game. Bad transition then.
I got lots of thoughts.
It's all right. We'll jump on that soon.
Great. Can we just a quick little touch if we're going to talk murders here? Well, shout out to Notre Dame, what they did to Clemson.
Yeah, they did.
It was one
around.
hell of a sports weekend for me.
Let's hear it. Tell me why.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my Fighting Irish beat the ever living snot out of Clemson. And then
Chicago
was fired.
Chicago almost beating Miami is kind of a win for you.
Yeah, and I mean the Bears game went literally as perfect as it could. I got a ton of points. I got a loss that results in better draft position. Yeah, I mean I couldn't ask for anything else.
I think the Blackhawks lost this weekend too.
Hey,
so that's another win.
Let's do
that's
this.
another win. Yeah, they need to start losing more games. I know this is a football podcast, but they need to stop winning really badly.
Like right now.
Yeah, like right now. But let's stay on Chicago. The first game we're going to hit up is Miami Chicago. Austin, it actually was the most entertaining game. I enjoyed watching that the most. Austin, I'll let you lead off, giving us your thoughts on this game.
I have a quarterback.
You do have a quarterback.
Like I have a guy.
Yeah,
like a guy.
He's good.
I don't really know what to do. Like I open Twitter and Facebook and turn on ESPN and it's just praise and it's not ridicule and people pointing out that the franchise has no idea what they're doing. Set the regular season record for most rushing yards by a quarterback in a single game. Shout out Kaepernick for that NFC playoff game. Or else would have been most ever.
Which is mind-blowing that it's that low, to be honest. But continue.
For a quarterback?
For a quarterback, yeah, you'd think at some point in time someone would have came along in the regular season, you know? Anyways, continue. Sorry. I was surprised by that number.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's a lot of rushing yards, but I kind of get what you're saying, Hunter. As long as the NFL's and football's been around, there hasn't been a quarterback.
I mean, we had quarterbacks back in the day that were playing running back, kicker.
Yeah, but that was also when would get the snap and they would hand it to someone and run 3 yards and crack someone's face open, and then that'd be the end of the play.
Yeah, I mean, you remember too the scoring in those days
pretty
were
low.
not good either.
Yeah,
but anyways, and I mean, ultimately, like I said, it was a perfect weekend for the Bears. The defense is Swiss cheese, which we already knew, especially trading away Roquan and Robert Quinn. Yeah. Secondary is Eddie Jackson and rookies. So when you have to guard Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, it's not going to go well.
Nope.
But the offense was in it till the end. And if Claypool doesn't get ripped to the ground, and if Equinemius St. Brown knows how to catch a ball on 4th and 10, we have a legit shot to beat what's been one of the best teams in the AFC.
Yeah, and one of the best offenses in the AFC too.
For sure.
I mean, we can rip on like, sure, maybe they put up 35 or whatever it was on a poor Bears defense, but right now nobody's putting up 35 points on any teams, even bad defenses. So,
I mean, and if
I
you
don't
want to
know.
break it down, they outscored Miami's offense.
They
I
did.
mean, they lost by 3,
Yeah,
and Miami had a special teams touchdown.
Yep.
I mean,
that punt block was big.
Yeah, I mean, that's a whole other thing. That's a coaching thing, but that's not important.
Yeah, we're not too
Yeah,
worried
I mean,
about the
they're-
coaching staff right now. They because you know what, Austin, our big critique of them at the beginning of the year was the system they're running with Fields just doesn't work and he doesn't look comfortable. They've started to kind of massage it, you know, so that
Yep.
he does fit it a little better and he's come along. So it's both the coaching staff and Fields improving, which is double good signs for Bears fans.
Yeah, and I mean, it's weird that to have a play caller that knows how to use 2 running backs very well, which could be useful to some other teams.
Shut up.
Hunter, any thoughts, opinions?
It's honestly both of our teams too, so it's funny you say that. Let's pump the brakes a little bit, just a little bit. Justin Fields had a great day rushing. He still threw over only 120 yards in this game.
Okay, go ahead. I'll let you finish.
He looks more comfortable in the offense, and the offense looks halfway decent the way how it's designed. I like the way that they're running things, but I don't think that we're at the point yet to say yes on Justin Fields. This is a guy, but it's looking like he could be. I'm not saying that it is yet. I don't know how you can say it is, but it's looking like it.
I think it is. I'm not saying he.
Huh?
Go ahead, Austin. Repeat that.
I
There was
said
a lot
they're
of
averaging
talking.
over 30 points a game over the last 4 weeks. That tends to be how you figure out if an offense is good.
Yeah, but we already talked about this with other quarterbacks too. You can have a good offense and not have a quarterback that's your guy, you know? But in this offense, he's figured it out pretty well, I'd say, so far.
If that quarterback's a young buck trying to figure out how to even play in the NFL and it's his second year and his first head coach was a dummy, like
yeah,
you're finally putting the guy in a situation, and now that he's starting to learn, like Austin said, the past 3 weeks they've scored over 30 points a game.
I agree.
It's like, hey, this probably is a guy. Like I'm not even saying that he's good or great. I'm saying what Austin's saying of he's a guy, like he's a prospect. He's someone that you can build your team around. You like Austin's scenario at the beginning of the season of maybe we move on this upcoming draft. Yeah. Now that is out the window. Yes. No chance you're doing that.
Yeah.
You are now building around this guy.
Yes.
That's what the guy is.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess
I didn't know if we were done doing him franchise guy right now yet, and like we're gonna start giving him a contract or start talking.
No. Yeah, no, we're not talking contract.
Yeah, okay. AJ's totally on here, and I think that kind of it's a good point overall, Hunter. Though that I think people get those like two things, they mesh them together too quickly, and it's not that.
Because if you turn on First Take, they will be saying this.
Oh yes, but like Tua's a guy, but I don't know that Tua's a franchise quarterback. I think Fields is a guy, but I don't know for sure.
This category we've created of a guy.
Right, he's a guy, but he's not.
A good example of a guy was Josh Allen. Josh Allen had the moments in his early years, and you're like, okay, he's a guy that like he does some exciting things, and then he explodes, and you're like, okay, this is our franchise quarterback. You go from being a guy to the franchise quarterback, or you go from being a guy to a bum. Baker Mayfield's in that category.
Yeah. Good point.
My pushback on everybody with the whole passing yards things is it's his job to move the offense. This offense is not good. They have they have 2 pass catchers. One just got there this week and played, I think, 16 snaps. And they have a mediocre offensive line.
It's good at run blocking at best. And
their number 3 wide receiver who got a target on 4th and 10 played the last 3 years with Aaron Rodgers and had 1 touchdown.
Yeah.
So they don't have.
And 2 of those were MVP.
Him dropping a 4th down pass there gave me major PTSD.
Oh yeah, and it's just like, so I mean, my pushback on the whole yards thing is it's not like he's not panicking like a young quarterback to run. These are legitimate scramble runs rather than him going back there staring at Darnell Mooney for 2.5 seconds and then just bolting. Like, this is, over the last 4 weeks, it's become scrambling, not panic running, which is a major step forward.
Miami's still, on the other hand, very good.
Yes. Yeah, their offense is, and don't get me wrong, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are awesome. Mike McDaniel is one heck of a play caller. Like, he gets them open by themselves a lot.
Which he didn't call any plays in San Francisco, so.
Yeah. Very, very impressive on his part to be first-time head coach and first-time play caller, and to be doing as well as he's doing is really something.
AJ just lagged out, so hopefully he just joins back with us. Let's keep it moving. Buffalo, New York Jets. Buffalo was a 13-point favorite in this game, but we got an upset.
We do have an upset.
AJ, since you rejoined
Jets.
us, how about them Jets, dude?
Yeah, so I actually just rewatched the highlights of this game while I was eating dinner because I knew we were going to talk this game, and I was like, I want to take a closer look at this game. Yeah, the Jets have a very high-end playoff caliber defense, and their offense is bad. Like, they can run the ball a little bit, but Zach Wilson's still garbage, and nothing's going to change my mind. That guy's bad. Joe Flacco, I think, would have a better success of making this team go on a deep playoff run than he would. Go ahead, Austin. I see you sitting there.
I don't necessarily agree with that.
That's
just
fine.
From an added standpoint of Zach Wilson has some mobility. Joe Flacco's more immobile than Matt Ryan.
That's fine. He was also passing for like over 300 yards a game.
Yeah, but because he had to, and because he was also turning the ball over, which allowed the other team to score points, which Zach Wilson has done a better job of simply being a game manager. Now, I'm with you.
This week,
great.
He threw. Did you watch the Patriots game last week?
Right. Say that again for me.
Yeah.
What
Patriots game last week.
Bill Belichick confused the young quarterback. Yes, for the 120th
That's what we're gonna
time.
go with.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna go with.
Zach Wilson, by the way, with more.
Zach Wilson's so bad.
He had more passing yards and completions and better completion percentage than Justin Fields, who he just anointed as a guy. So, cool it a little bit. He didn't even turn the ball over this game.
I've watched him play, and I don't like him. I don't think he's good.
You.
I'm not even saying he's a bust hunter. I'm just saying he's not.
Well, I'm with you, AJ. I don't think he's good, and I don't think he's a guy. But I think the step to calling Joe Flacco an improvement is a bit excessive.
I said I think they could make a further run in the playoffs with him than they could with Zach Wilson.
I think this Jets
would I make that change? Of course not. He's a young quarterback. Like, you're gonna see what you have with him. I'm not saying they're gonna do that, but I'm saying if you're the Jets and you were in the playoffs, your best shot to win a Super Bowl is behind Joe Flacco, not Zach Wilson.
Their best shot to win a Super Bowl is that 9 quarterbacks get hurt.
That too.
I think the Jets are officially a team you can't overlook.
And they're 6-3. I would say so.
But until this week, they'd only beaten one starting quarterback, and it was Aaron Rodgers, who the Packers have been garbage.
Yep.
They went out and beat Josh Allen and the Bills, who everyone's deeming as the best team in the NFL. That's different. I agree with you that you have to look at them and be like, okay, we're playing the Jets.
Right. Like that to me was like, it looked like Buffalo kind of overlooked them. Like, they weren't taking them super seriously. Like, Buffalo came out with their hair on fire. They had a huge pass to Diggs right away.
And then Allen threw that terrible interception. Yep. That's so bad. I don't even know what he was doing.
It legitimately looked like he did not see anybody on the defense, because it wasn't just the guy that picked it. There was way more Jets players over there than there were Bills.
He's so close to knocking all of those types of plays out of his game, and he still has 1 or 2 every 4 weeks.
Yep. So yeah, this to me was an overlooked game, which can't happen if you're Buffalo, especially with division games, especially in what's arguably the best division in football. So,
nobody was saying that at the beginning of the year.
Right.
I thought the Patriots were going to take a step back, and none of us thought the Jets were going to be any good. And now the Jets are 6-3. The Patriots are hanging on around 500. The Dolphins are good. We thought so. And the Bills are the Bills. Wild that they're the best division.
That it is.
Anything else you guys want to touch on, Hunter? You want to touch on anything else in this game?
No, I think this was kind of one of those games where next week it kind of gets corrected. And that's why I'm step ahead. Buffalo might be on my locks list next week.
If
sneak preview.
Josh Allen plays.
If Josh Allen plays, yes.
He got hurt, and he really was holding his elbow late in that
right
game.
arm, right?
Really shortened.
Yeah, it was his throwing arm.
Yeah.
So really, really missed some throws short, which is the last thing you expect out of Josh Allen.
He did throw a dynamite strike though at the end of the game.
At the end, he did.
How did he get hurt doing this though? I don't remember.
Sack fumble.
It was a sack fumble. He was throwing the ball, and the guy bent his arm, and that's a big no.
They were doing an MRI on his UCL, which for any baseball fans out there is the Tommy John ligament. So let's just hope that everything's all right.
Yep. Hope so, because if he lost that ability to throw the ball, he becomes an average guy.
Well, I mean, he'd just be out for the year. I mean, he'd come back from it, but
that's a different
Tommy
topic.
John ain't what it used to be.
You know what? You're not wrong there. You're not.
All right, next one. Moving on, AJ. What do we got?
Tennessee at Kansas City. Sunday night game. Kansas City was a 12.5-point favorite. Austin, I think last week you brought up maybe last week should have been the fade AJ parlay. And that parlay hit last week.
Yeah.
It did. I went 0 for 3.
I should have bet it. Yeah, man. I just like 2 or 3 weeks ago, we talked about this Tennessee team is not good. This Tennessee team is this and that. This is not the old Mike Vrabel Titans that stick around in games that they don't belong in. And then what did we get this week? Vintage Mike Vrabel.
Yeah, they stuck around with Malik.
Yeah,
Malik's not good.
This is the worst Titans team that he's had to do this with too. I was very impressed by the coaching moves.
This has got to be just a matchup thing, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of
Vrabel just understands something that other people don't.
And I'll tell you what he understands. He just understands making the Chiefs uncomfortable offensively. When there's always this point in these Tennessee games where about mid to end of the second quarter where Patrick Mahomes is just absolutely, if they're going to have success on any drives, he's having to scramble and make things happen that are off schedule. If it's on schedule, it's not happening for the Chiefs. I don't know if it's their scouting, what it is, but everything that they want to do, they slow it down and they make them uncomfortable.
Yep. Yeah, and then it's almost like you get that. Normally, Andy Reid gets that bump after halftime, but you're right. They kind of have to get through that lull there in the second quarter where it's like, all right, manage this and then readjust.
Every Kansas City Tennessee game at the end of the second quarter is going to be about 7-3. Something like that.
Yeah, I think if Malik could have passed the ball, they could have won this game. But
completed 5 passes. That's so bad.
I know.
Okay. I'm agreeing with you. I'm just saying, like, it's absurd how bad he was. Is all I was.
There were so many plays this game too where you could tell they just told him, make sure they know you can throw it, where he dropped back and just chucked it out of bounds. You know, like I can still throw it deep. It goes into the second row. Like we're not scared. We're not. You know.
Yeah, almost like that 1 out of every 30 plays when the Dolphins used to run Wildcat and they would throw the ball just so not all 11 blitz straight away. It's basically the same in effectiveness as well.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to this week's games. Let's start our Week 10 predictions and game previews. Let's talk. Oh God, why do we have to start with this? Let's talk Cleveland at Miami. Miami 3.5-point favorites at home. Cleveland coming off a bye. Hunter, what do you think? What do you think the Browns defense is going to do to stop Miami in this game?
What they should do and what's going to happen is very different things. They had 2 weeks to prepare here, and I don't really think it matters. They should zone them up and just try to limit the big plays. What's going to happen, though? No? Austin, you disagree?
It's the exact opposite of what happened in the Bears game. Tua in the fourth quarter was blitz. He was only blitzed 2 times in the first 3 quarters, and he had over 300 yards passing. He was blitzed 74% of the time in the fourth quarter. He went 1 for 7 for 9 yards.
You can still zone up and blitz, though.
That's something that
you got to go get him.
The Browns definitely don't blitz.
Well, they're in trouble then.
Yeah, no, they are.
Yeah, you beat by the speed.
It's a trend thing. I think Tyreek's really good too. I mean, all those years in Kansas City with Mahomes and Reed, he knows exactly how to sit in zones. And then if you aren't on him, you're screwed. He's going to go forever.
Yeah, I agree, 100%.
Yeah, I see the Dolphins in this one scoring over 30 again. 2 weeks in a row
at home too.
Yeah, Austin, what do you think about the Dolphins in this one? What do you think they need to do to stop the Browns' run? Just hope that Stefanski doesn't run the ball.
I mean, that would work.
Yeah.
Get out to a hot start so they can't run it.
Yeah.
What's terrifying for you, AJ, is that Miami's pass rush is bad.
Yeah.
Which means Jacoby Brissett's going to drop back to pass a couple of times in the first half, and he's going to have all day to throw, and Stefanski's going to be like, cool, we can throw a lot.
Good thing I got this super awesome weapon named Jake Brisket in my quarterback position.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's kind of one of those things. It's like, can't Stefanski just? I don't even adjust. Isn't even the right word. Like, can he not adjust? Is that because they always start running the ball and they go down the field, and Nick Chubb is awesome and they score, and then it's like, what if we just didn't do that?
Yeah, there's been weeks where Nick Chubb gets like 75% of his fantasy points on the first drive.
Yep.
Whether he has a good week or a bad week, he gets most of it. He gets most of it in the first drive.
Yeah.
Cleveland
Stefanski 0-2 off a bye.
Really interesting. Cleveland also has 2 games here in a row that are going to be their toughest opponents they have to face the rest of the year. Then on out, it's a very, very soft schedule. Are they done? They're 3-5 right now.
Who's next week, Hunter? Do you remember?
Let me remind myself real quick. It is.
They still got. This is gonna be game number 9.
Buffalo.
Oof.
Yeah, and they'll get trounced in that one. This is game number 9, so they've got to go 3 or 4 more games.
After that,
Tampa somewhere.
Tampa, Houston, Cincinnati, Baltimore, New Orleans. Washington,
well, they get the.
So it's Tampa too with Brissett.
Yeah.
So I mean, they need to go 2-1 in these next 3 if they want to make playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do they?
No.
Let's play a fun little game here. Do they?
Why should we believe they will? They haven't showed us anything.
I don't believe they will.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I think that means that you have to hope, because I doubt they're going to beat Buffalo unless Josh Allen's elbow injury ends up being kind of serious and he's going to be out for a few weeks. That's your only chance to beat Buffalo. But maybe they could beat Miami, and maybe they could beat Tampa, whose offense is also really bad. Honestly, Tampa's the one that seems the most winnable to me now.
Yeah,
for sure.
With Tampa's offense struggling and your pass rush, Miami is a lock for me in this game. I just don't see the formula working. If it's going to work, it's going to take a Cleveland team that I haven't seen yet this year.
Oh, they showed up for the Cincinnati game. You must not have watched that one.
I'm sorry. The Cincinnati game. My bad.
That's the real Cleveland Browns, but they only come out twice a year, and hopefully one of them's always a Thursday night primetime game.
Very true.
All right, let's move on. Next game on the list, we've got those Buffalo Bills we were just talking about, and Minnesota is traveling to Buffalo. Buffalo's 5.5-point favorites Again, I think this one kind of is going to revolve around whether Josh Allen's playing or not. But Hunter, what'd you think about the swaggy Kirk Cousins on the flight home, dude?
Swaggy, baby. You see Adam Schefter doing the same thing too?
Yeah, it's
taking
cringy.
the shirt off with the chain on. It's cringy when Kirk's doing it too, man.
Yeah, but Kirk is like shredded, pretty muscular guy, whereas like Shefty's like dad bod out there.
But
chill a little bit.
Shefty looked better than I thought he would.
He does. Yes.
You know what? Austin, I bet it's because he works out, but he's like a fit dad bod.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You're right. He definitely
there's a
still has
little
dad
cushion.
bod.
There's a little cushion, but like he's fit.
Like
I'm not good. Yeah. I was surprised.
He's got the weight set in the basement, but it's not complete. He doesn't have the squat rack. He doesn't. Yeah.
Dude. He's got the Bowflex with the dumbbells that have the adjusters on them. That's
definitely
what he's got.
A Bowflex guy.
Yeah.
And
P90X maybe. It's like a dusty DVD on his shelf somewhere.
Minnesota's offense is legit. I know it. It's just the one thing with this team is their damn quarterback, and that's why I'm taking Buffalo as a lock in this game. Buffalo is going to respond with a home game here where they just got beat by the New York Jets. They're going to come out with their hair on fire this game. Josh Allen will not be making mistakes he made last week. Minnesota, to me, is a team that every once in a while is going to have that meltdown game, mainly because of their quarterback. I think this is one of those games in Buffalo.
Obviously the Josh Allen thing for sure, like you guys had mentioned. But I think the big one here is, does Tre'Davious White play? They activated Mapa, or they allowed him to, or they opened his practice window. That's what it's called. To come off the IR last week, but he didn't play. If they don't have him, they could be in some trouble. Just Justin Jefferson has really started looking like himself again. Kirk's been taking more shots, and if they don't have Tre'Davious White, they didn't have Jordan Poyer last week. I don't know if they're going to have him again. To add on to Micah Hyde, who's been out. That's a banged up secondary, and Justin Jefferson could run wild.
It is a banged up secondary, but let's not forget how good their pass rush is now this year as well. And what Kirk Cousins does when he gets pass rush, a good pass rush against him, is kind of melt down.
For sure.
This Vikings team, like, I think the offense is, I think it's good at best. But they are a roller coaster of an offense. They go from like, they do that first scripted drive is always really, really good for them. But then they, like last week, they had that first scripted drive and went downfield and scored. And then I think they punted on 8 straight drives.
Yep.
Or something like that. 6 or 8 straight drives. That's, to me, that's like what the Vikings are, is they just go through, they get that climb on the first drive, but they might hit their apex, and then it's just downhill until like late in the third quarter or something, and they finally figure it out. They have to become more consistent and score points throughout the game, and just, I don't know. It just seems like a team that wins based off of field position because of how much they punt.
They do have the best starting field position of any team in the NFL.
Yeah.
On average. And it's not even close. I think it's like 6 or 7 yards better than everyone else. And
I think that I think it's best in the NFL for both sides of the football.
Yes, correct.
For their defense and for their offense.
They kind of remind me in a lot of ways of like previous years Arizona Cardinals, where it's like you've got a great weapon, you don't really trust the quarterback, you're not really sure if you trust the coach. They've got some studs on defense, but like not a full defense. And so it's like, are they any good? Aren't they any good? And then you're just kind of waiting on it to fall apart. So I don't know. We'll see. I've not been a Minnesota guy from the start. They also kind of remind me of the Pittsburgh Steelers team and whatever it was, 18 or 19, that started like 11-0 because they played the easiest schedule in the history of the NFL, and then finished 11-5
and lost to the Browns in the wild card week.
So we'll see. If they beat Buffalo, if Buffalo's healthy and they beat Buffalo, I have no choice really but to back off of them and take them for real.
Unless Josh Allen doesn't play.
Austin.
Yeah.
You can have that asterisk.
Bigger paper tiger. Minnesota Vikings or Philadelphia Eagles?
Oh, Philly. For sure.
Really?
Yeah, for sure.
I disagree entirely.
Really?
I'm way more scared of Philly than I am of Minnesota.
Wait.
Paper tiger.
What did
you know
you-
what that word means? No, you know what that phrase means? That like
You were cutting out.
Sorry,
too, so
paper tiger means on paper they look very good, but they are nothing more than that, just on paper.
Oh, then yes, I agree with you.
Okay.
I am
Yeah.
more fearful of the Eagles than I am.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
I got confused there.
Okay.
All right. Let's move on to the last game we're going to talk about for this upcoming Sunday is the Dallas Cowboys at the Green Bay Packers. Packers on a 5-game skid, and the Dallas Cowboys are a 5-point favorite at Lambeau. Tough cookies, Hunter. What?
We're gonna lose
Hunter,
to
do
Mike
you really
McCarthy
Yeah, I was going to say, do you really think Mike McCarthy is going to come back to Green Bay and get a dub?
in Green Bay? Mike McCarthy. Oh my God.
And he's gonna walk to midfield at the end of the game, and he's gonna make a beeline. His first handshake's gonna go to Rodgers.
If they're up by double digits in the third quarter, I hope he goes to the sideline and starts to get a massage. I hope so.
That's the second. They have 2 really long losing streaks, Hunter.
What's the
The
other one?
Packers do. Their 9th straight loss on daylight savings time weekend.
Oh my God, I hate you. I hate this part of every goddamn show. You always come out with the dumbest stats that mean nothing. Nothing.
Can you admit that's at least hilarious? Yes, I know it means nothing, but the fact that it specifically happened on that weekend for 9 straight years is...
Hunter, honestly, you should just buy a calendar for next year, find what day is daylight savings, and circle it, and just see what happens.
Not watch the game. Hey, speaking of guys coming off a bye, Hunter, do you want to guess what Mike McCarthy's record is off a bye?
It's incredible. I know it is.
How incredible, though.
Is he undefeated?
It's 12-2.
12-2.
He's such a bad head coach.
He is.
Yeah, this is my lock. The millennium. I don't get this line at all, and I don't care. I'm not gonna let anybody psych me out of this line. Micah Parsons is going to run through every single one of whatever's left of the Packers offensive line. The Packers are beyond banged up. The only thing that would stop them is weird fumbles or something. I don't know. They're a better team on all 3 phases. This is easy for me.
Every week, Rodgers has shown up on the injury report like Wednesday, and then comes off of it on Thursday. Do you think this is the week where he shows up on the injury report Wednesday and then he's out for Sunday so that he doesn't have to go against this Cowboys defense?
Hey, Hunter, genuine question: Is the thumb a real thing?
Is the thumb
I
a real
think it
thing?
is.
Like his injury? His with his thumb?
Yeah. Because it feels like every week he is more and more messing with it. It's earlier in the game each week. Do
you remember
Go ahead.
What was it with Tom Brady that every single week in his career he would be on the injury report? I think it was his knee.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
It's one of those things where it's just like we'll just throw him on there even though it means nothing. The Patriots are notorious for that where they just throw guys on the injury report to throw other teams off it. He may not play. With the Packers, it's just Rodgers and his thumb has been a thing for a while now.
Yeah, but he's been grabbing his thumb during the game for weeks now.
I think he's probably got like a sprained thumb or something. Not to like talk about the baseball league I played in or anything, but like I sprained my wrist in the opening week of it, and like
Warrior.
It's just like a sprain, but like then when you do things like for me it was sliding and putting my hand on the ground or just hitting it a certain way would just completely re-aggravate it. And on Sunday I pointed it out to you. When Rodgers went down one time, he put his right hand down. That's where the thumb injury is. And that's what he caught himself with. And then that was when he got up and was holding it. And it's just like, yeah, he probably just hit it wrong. You can still work with it. It just doesn't feel good and it hurts. Is it going to keep him out of a game? No, because it's not going to prevent him from grabbing the ball or anything. It just hurts.
Yeah, is that why we are 3-6?
No, I'm not saying that.
No. Yeah,
I'm just-
I'm not
I'd
saying
love
that
it
either.
to be. I'd love it to be. Can I?
It's
No,
not. Though.
I don't think
I'm
it's
sorry.
bad.
It's
You guys
not.
gave me an excuse. I'm taking this and running with it.
I don't know. Like it felt like it feels more pronounced. Like it feels more obvious each week. And I don't know if part of it's because he keeps getting destroyed. Also, when is David Bakhtiari ever going to play a full game again? Like, is he
Yeah, I
going to
know,
retire?
right? When did he go out of the game last week? He was playing.
I think he's just on snap counts.
Second or
counts?
third week? No, he went out. He was on the bike. He
Oh,
was hurt. They took him to training or to the blue tent, and then he was riding a bike for like the whole second half.
Aaron Jones as well may not play too. Like, I don't know why this is 5. Why is it 5? Is it just because Aaron Rodgers owns Dallas? Is that why?
Yeah, historical trends probably, but those other teams didn't have Micah Parsons at the level that Micah Parsons is.
Yeah.
I mean, that whole defense is playing really well. Like, and I think that the Packers defense isn't what it is either. And Dak and the Cowboys offense have started to kind of put it together. I could see them putting up 24 or something like that. But I do not see the Packers putting up 24. Like, something would have to happen where the
I don't
Packers
know.
just click all of a sudden to score 20 points against this Cowboys defense.
I genuinely don't know who's going to play for Green Bay. Like, I looked at their injury report after the end of the game, and it was like,
Everyone.
I don't know who plays.
It was comical to hear them start the game and talk about the Packers wide receiving corps and describe them as banged up when we literally had the trade deadline last week. I don't know why I know that were content with what we had and we didn't want to give up too much. I want at least depth here. Can we have enough to put enough players on the field? Remember that one year when we had to put who was it at running back? Aaron Ripkowski, the fullback, and then we had to go to Ty Montgomery to put him in at running back. It's like incompetency. Get enough guys on your roster to at least assemble a full team, right? Like, anyways.
An owner would be helpful just to say, hey, what are we doing?
Yeah, a little bit of pressure.
Instead,
maybe.
you just got half a stadium of Packers fans yelling, and they're like, oh, it's just fans. They're dumb. But anyway, I'm sorry, Hunter. I hate that we have to, and I hate it. Austin loves it, but I hate that we have to always end every Packers conversation with sadness. One day I hope there's positivity, but Austin's just enjoying this year of getting to smile through all these Packer rants.
It doesn't quite make a whole lot of sense to me why we are doing what we're doing this year. It doesn't make sense to me. And that's what's most frustrating is that I'm sitting here and I'm like, I could fix these problems tomorrow. Come on.
Well, you couldn't fix them tomorrow anymore because we're past the trade deadline.
Oh, yeah,
but
my bad.
Before the trade deadline, there were a few things that could have been discussed and problems that could have been resolved maybe, or at least bandaged up. But you're right. Yep. And that was one thing we talked about was you mentioned the depth on Sunday when we were watching football, because on the first play of the game for the Packers, they throw that big dig route to Dobbs, whatever his name is, and he gets hurt and he's out for the game.
And then we were like, I guess we're out of playmakers.
Yeah, and then they were throwing the passes to the one guy that you didn't even know his name. It wasn't even Watson. I don't even know who the other guy was.
Tour.
Oh, Toure. That was his name.
Toure, excuse me. My bad.
Yeah.
Doesn't he play for Manchester United or Manchester City?
Yeah, back in the day.
I don't get it. I'm with you, Hunter, and it's part of me is like slightly heartbroken for you because I've gone through it with all of my other teams. And so it's like I can see the exact frustration that you have. Not the Bears, in other sports, where it's like there is obvious fixes to said problem, but ownership is either too cheap or unwilling to make any moves that would make them come across as incompetent or, not being sufficient at their job. And so it's like they dig their heels in and it's like, no, I'm right. Okay.
Hunter, that's the Bulls fan and him coming out.
Oh yeah.
That's who he's talking about.
Yeah. The difference between the Packers being and like top of the NFC team and them being where they're at is very little moves, like very small, minute moves. And we just refuse. We refuse.
Yeah. And some
also,
of the stuff
Rodgers needs to play better. What the hell was that performance?
Dude, I'm telling you, he doesn't care.
I know.
And I'm not saying that means he won't ever care again, but these last couple of games, it's like
he and Tom Brady should go hang out every week together and just
Yeah.
cry.
I think he and Tom Brady are going to have a fist fight to see who gets to go be the quarterback for the Raiders next year.
I don't think the Packers can actually trade him, right?
Not unless
Not
he
without his
grants
permission.
it.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, like, isn't his dead cap hit next year like 99 million or something ridiculous like
Yeah,
that?
it's ridiculous. But I don't know the exact number.
It's almost
That's-
half
I'm
the
always
for
I
another
don't.
day.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that pretty much wraps it up for our show this week.
We have
let's
other
run
locks
through.
to
Hang
cover
on, I
real
wasn't
quick.
done yet.
Sorry.
Cutting me off. Let me be the host here.
My bad.
I know.
I had to step in when you cut out there for a second to introduce the game, and now I'm getting liberties.
I was not done yet. Austin, go ahead. Show us your locks. Tell us your locks.
I said something about Dallas already. I'm gonna lock up the Rams -3 at home against the Cardinals. Cardinals are terrible. You have Jalen Ramsey to lock up, or to keep in check DeAndre Hopkins. Sean McVay absolutely owns Cliff Kingsbury. 8-1 against him in his career. 3 points at home feels like a really good value for me.
And a
must win for
the Rams.
And then our very first, I went back and looked, guys. Our very first squad lock of the week. Kansas City
Ever?
-9.5 versus Jacksonville. This I don't get this. I was expecting this line to be 14.
They're at home too.
Yeah, like I don't get it. Kansas City's gonna bounce back. Doug Peterson is not Mike Vrabel.
No.
They don't have a very good defense. Trevor Lawrence is a roller coaster. Give me a couple Lawrence mistakes and Patrick Mahomes being Patrick Mahomes and them taking this by 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, I remember when the Jags started 2-1, and you were saying how, hey, maybe it's
He
Doug
was-
Peterson that was.
Hey, he's still employed, right?
Yeah,
That he is.
Hey, I did. Thank
Longer
you for
leash.
bringing that up, Hunter, because I did want to. We should have noted there was another person on that staff that maybe we both overlooked. The quarterback coach on that staff,
who?
Nick
Sirianni.
Sirianni.
Oh, was it really?
Yep.
Maybe we were both looking at the wrong guy. Maybe it wasn't Reich or Doug Peterson.
Maybe that's why he was hired. They were just by process of elimination, it had to be this guy.
Right. Just keep going down the list. Eventually, we'll figure it out.
If this didn't work out, they were hiring Carson Wentz to be the head coach.
Hunter, give us your 3 locks for the week.
I went over 2 of them already, Miami and Buffalo. I already talked about those ones. Kansas City, again, my lock of the week as well. Jacksonville is not good. Doug Peterson's not good either, and they should smack the hell out of them coming back home.
Nice. I locked up Kansas City with you guys as well for all the reasons we've already discussed. I'm taking the Seahawks over Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is favored by 2.5 points in this game, and Seattle is the better all-around team. Right now, that team's playing pretty well, playing pretty solid football. I'm going with the Seahawks.
I love that
and then,
lock, AJ. I love that lock, man.
And then,
Not scared.
yeah, I'm not. And then the other one I'm not scared of too is Houston at the New York Giants. The Giants are 6.5 point favorites. I'm going with the Giants coming off a bye week. We talk about every week when we talk about them that we think that they're pretty well-coached teams. Well coached teams typically come out of the bye week and play a pretty good game. So, and the Houston Texans are terrible. So I think that this should be an easy touchdown win, at least for the New York Giants.
Love those picks. Whenever you can take a team that's mailing in the season and bet against them coming off a bye week, especially. Let's take it.
Bingo. Hunter, last review. What'd you think of Brooklyn Brewery's Brooklyn
How
Lager,
much?
Amber Lager?
I drank, fellas. Let's go. I enjoyed this lager. It's a kind of a darker lager than I'm used to and that I prefer.
It's an amber.
It's an amber lager. So, not my favorite. I'd give it a 5.5 out of 10.
Oh, you're gonna start scoring them. Those are some big britches, dude. If it was in a fridge, would you grab it?
Yeah. It would depend on what's in the fridge.
Yeah, that's a good answer. A wise man once said that. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I drank almost all of it. It's just to the point now where it's, what you
but
pour
you got
out.
a problem, man. So
You're right. You're right. All right. Well, that pretty much wraps it up for this week. Until next time, everyone, take it easy.